Hi, I'm Don from DonDronesOn. In this video, I'll share 4 important updates you should be aware of as a Canadian drone pilot. Let's get into it. The first topic is the recently announced Transport Canada NPA, covering upcoming changes to drone and RC aircraft regulations. TC is holding 6 information sessions in July, 3 in English and 3 in French. The sessions will each focus on one of the 3 changes, as shown here. To sign up for one of these online Teams sessions, there are links in the most recent TC DonDronesOn newsletter. I'll provide details in the description below this video. The sessions will start with a presentation from TC, followed by Q&A. Questions can be submitted in writing during each session. TC has said they will not be recording the sessions for privacy reasons, but I've asked them if I can share my own recordings. I haven't heard back yet, but I'm sure access to recordings would be very handy for people who can't attend the 1.5-hour sessions in the middle of workdays. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I have an earlier video explaining each of the 3 changes and the pros and cons of each one. There are good things being proposed, but in my opinion, the worst part of this is the public broadcast of the drone pilot's exact location if the remote ID proposal goes through. Where's their risk assessment on this? The NPA is in the consultation period right now, with comments open until September the 9th. Please take the time to send TC your views. It's important for TC to see how many people are concerned about this. Links to both the English and French versions of the NPA are in the description below this video, along with the email address to send your comments. And feel free to copy me on those. I'd be very interested in seeing your submissions. Okay, topic number 2, the DPAC FPV Exemption Proposal. If you recall, we submitted an application way back in March to exempt FPV pilots, the guys with goggles on, from requiring a spotter under specific, reasonable, and very safe conditions. In May, we actually heard back from Transport Canada with 9 fairly broad concerns that we would need to address in order to qualify for an exemption. In a nutshell, they said our application lacked an adequate risk assessment with evidence-based justification. They said our arguments were, primarily asserted through what they called qualitative reasoning, in other words, logic, rather than a structured analysis with referenced data or referenced studies. Now, honestly, they've set the bar very high, arguably higher than any risk assessment I've ever seen to justify the existing regulations. But nevertheless, we are undeterred. Mike Hill on the DPAC steering committee has volunteered to drive the next version of our submission. He'll reconvene the team and hammer down each of the 9 concerns in some way or another. If you'd like to participate in this effort, I've left Mike's contact information in the description below. This is not going to be easy, so all the help we can get will be appreciated. Now, topics 3 and 4 are a bit lighter. You may have seen an email recently from DPAC requesting that you sign in again to the DPAC website. This was real, not a phishing attempt, trust me. We revamped the website back in May, including a complete change to hosting and underlying technology. Your email accounts were preserved after this transformation, but passwords were not. So please visit the DPAC website at your earliest convenience, go to the Sign In tab, and reset your password if you haven't already done so. The best part of the new website is that our DPAC safety course has been enhanced, so now you can take the course more than once with a new validation date each time. This is very important because this course qualifies as a recency thing. So if you use the course for your 24-month recency update, this is very handy. And finally, a bit of a birthday celebration is overdue. In June, the Aviation Radio issue passed its 4th year of being unresolved. Yes, in June of 2022, ISED, also known as Industry Canada, declared that drone pilots cannot transmit on aviation wavelengths, even if doing so would be crucial for aviation safety. I said Transport Canada and NAV Canada have been meeting periodically since then. They've carried out at least one trial, but still haven't managed to fight their way out of this paper bag. So, until they sort this out, please remember that you can listen on an aviation radio, but you are not permitted to transmit unless you happen to have a base station license as well as your ROC-A certification. Happy belated birthday to the Aviation Radio Fiasco. So there you have it, 4 important updates for drone pilots in Canada. But hey, it's a beautiful day here, so I'm going to sign off and get the drone up. Safe and happy flying.